Right, as we go from type 0 to, the highest type, as you had just mentioned, type 4, we see that the environment is more noisy.
Sure.
Right? One thing that was interesting, though, is I live in an area of Beijing called Beijing-Chao, and I feel like it fits so many of these types. And maybe that's just the area I live in, but, outside there, maybe you can chime in on this here. But, I've noticed since I've lived in China, and specifically, Beijing, a lot of people honk to just, in their daily driving. It's not a big deal, but in the U.S., it's very rare to honk. So that chimed with, there's construction going on many times in Beijing-Chao right now, is definitely the case. These kind of things definitely make for a noisy environment, and when I'm trying to sleep, maybe that's a bad thing.
Oh, you have so touched on a raw nerve here. I mean, quite apart from, actually in the UK it's illegal to honk your horn unless you're trying to tell somebody that you're there for an emergency reason. So you can't use the horn in a car on a regular basis. It's just totally, it's illegal, so you can't do that. So maybe that's at the back of my mind. But I'm in a similar position where I live in a place where there's a lot of construction work going on, and the cement lorries are turning up every 30 minutes or so, I think, overnight, and they have to honk their horn to get into the building site. So that fits into my problem that I was mentioning earlier, where it's an abrupt sound which happens on a regular basis, and you may be just about to go to sleep, and your eyes are closing, and you're nice and warm, and then there's that cement lorry.
Yeah, about that, I have to bring a little about the Chinese perspective here. First of all, when I get my driver's license, when I was learning, actually the teacher tells us during night, your lights are supposed to be the honk. You're not supposed to make that kind of noise. You can just use your lights, because people around you will see the lights and will know you're coming, or you're doing some kind of, you're making a turn. So that is okay. So it's not okay to use a honk during night. That's what they tell us. And also in certain areas of the city, I'm pretty sure there are some in Beijing too. In the cross, around the cross of on the road, you can see this kind of monitoring, this kind of sound environment protectors. They're there to show you how loud there is in this area. So basically, I feel like people are trying to protect people from getting hurt by this noise, but it's kind of hard also, because if the person is not doing it very seriously, if he's not trying to control himself, it's hard to punish him, because the noise is like, if you create the noise, it's there. But if you stop, it's not there. It's hard to get evidence. It's hard to stop him. And it's also hard to warn him not to do that again.
Well, let's talk about some evidence and the findings and the sources of the noises that they were talking about. Stats from the central authorities show that 354,000 complaints were received about noise nationwide, making up 35.3% of all environmental complaints through the year. The biggest offender, guys, construction noise was the biggest complaint. 50.1% of all complaints were connected to construction. The next one was industrial companies, made up 16.9%. So actually 21% of complaints were related to human-generated noise, and then also 12% related to vehicle traffic. So actually, I see from these sources and what we've been talking about, we all kind of touched on similar notes here. Whether you're, one of these people dealing with these complaints here in China, or if you're maybe in the UK and the US, you understand these sources. But what other sources are there that could be disrupting people's sleep? I mean, for me, I can think of one. Beijing-Chao has a street that is famous for its, outdoor hot pot and barbecue restaurants, especially during the summer. And man, does it, it gets loud.
Yeah, it's been strange.
It gets loud. What else could be contributing to this? You guys got any ideas?
Of course, sometimes there are shopping malls, outdoor promotion activities, square dance, I'm sorry.
Oh, square dancing. Let's not get into square dancing.
And
That's it. Okay, let's get on to square dance.
Okay.
No. I mean, I think it's fabulous, actually. I love watching square dancing, but I have to admit, if I lived in an apartment above a place where people congregate, I think I would get seriously cross.
I've had friends living in the Dongjimin area that have complained about the dancing noise music, because sometimes they turn up for what, you know? They turn down for what? That's it. They don't turn down for anything. They want to dance and have a good time. And so it gets a little loud.
That's fine. I think they could change the music style from time to time. It does tend to be a similar kind of music, doesn't it, all the time?
Yeah, but according to one of my friends, she actually wanted to help her mother to enjoy square dance without disturbing people, so she bought the whole group some Bluetooth headset. And it was not a very clear day. It's a little air polluted, so you can see them dancing and not hearing the music. I gotta tell you, it didn't help.
No, and in fact, I was going to raise this earlier. We're talking about sound pollution here, and you can have visual pollution as well. You can have visual noise pollution. And I think going to the window and getting freaked out by watching these people on the street just moving around for no reason without any music. That'll give me nightmares. That would stop me sleeping.
Yeah, okay, let's be serious here. Although I kind of brought it up. Anyway, I feel like you should know that actually according to China's law, any construction work should not be doing during 6 o'clock in the evening till the next morning, 8 a.m. And also all the holidays, including weekends. So if the construction work is really disturbing you, you feel like your health is in danger, you should complain.
Yeah, let's talk about health. The World Health Organization estimated noise has become another environmental factor affecting human life, which it warns could result in the increase of mental health issues and coronary disease, according to its epidemiological study in Europe. In 2014, the report revealed that European adult citizens have lost 1.6 million healthy life years every year due to noise pollution. So basically, you might be asking, Ryan, what is a healthy life year? Well, that is a year of life without disability. So not necessarily taking years off your life, just taking off the years where you're healthy and in good health and you can do things.
Yeah,
does this make sense to you guys? What do you
Totally.
think?
Well, I mean, I think it's been proved time and time again that noise can have an effect. Yes, it has, actually, Ryan. In terms of, affecting your health. Yeah. So, if you don't have a good rest, if you don't sleep at night, maybe there's noises at night or other people making it difficult for you to fall asleep, or, you've spent all night wide awake, that's going to have an impact, isn't it, on how you feel, the amount of energy that you have, maybe your ability to resist diseases or something like that.
I'm going to argue that point, Bob. I'm going to say that's relative, because some people love the sound of a clock going.
Oh, and
just hit on another sound.
Other people would go crazy.
Me.
So it's relative. So I would say that one's not the biggest offender. I would say, though, I would argue that maybe stress from these sounds. And stress, being that you might be in immediate danger. Many times, and maybe you guys can talk about this too, your own experience. I'm walking down the sidewalk. And many times, these guys, they have the job of delivering stuff, and I totally respect them. They want to get from A to B as fast as possible. Maybe there's some traffic. So they use the sidewalk, and they like to warn people with a honk that, these guys on motorbikes coming through warn you with a honk.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you're walking, and then all of a sudden you're right behind you, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
So maybe not necessarily just sitting in bed or in the privacy of your own home, but these loud noises, hearing honks all around you. It's like a battlefield. What do you think?
Yeah, sometimes it's a little stressful when you're walking in a very crowded place. It's like all the different kind of sounds or like different kind of signal from everywhere, trying to warn you from something, trying to protect you sometimes. But it is stressful. I agree with Ryan here.
I would go further as well, that some of the places which I traditionally think that these are supposed to be havens, these are supposed to be places where you can go and relax, like coffee shops or just quiet areas or spaces, seem to be full of noises. You just don't seem to be able to get away You don't seem to be on to some of this. Like I know that I was in a coffee shop the other day thinking, this would be lovely if I could just sit here, relax, on the sofa, drinking a coffee, and there was no other noise. But it was almost impossible. There was noises coming from everywhere. It seems that society can't live without having some kind of noise around.
Absolutely. And an elderly woman surnamed Zhang also was diagnosed with high blood pressure, heart disease, after living near a noisy garbage transfer station for 78 years. Her doctor said her diseases could have had something to do with the noisy living environment. What do you guys think? Do you think? I'm a little skeptical of this. I don't think necessarily the noise caused the heart problems. Maybe diet, maybe there's other factors.
There will be other factors, but my feeling, I know we're talking about this as being a major problem. I was talking to Yuval earlier about this,
Yeah.
that